YouTube, team-aonn.com. Wherever you may be watching this, this is Odogoo with Team-aonn. Remember to smash that like button if you are excited to see Thor Ragnarok. And let's just get into it today. And before Thor Ragnarok comes out in the US, I wanted to touch on Loki's kids. But not only Loki's kids in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and also in the comics, specifically in Earth 616, which is the main Earth universe in the Marvel comics. There are many universes, but that's the main one. Now, you may be saying, Odogoo, Loki doesn't have kids in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, I have my Loki's pokey stick, and we're going to poke it right now. Now, we are going to go through first the comics, specifically the Earth 616, and all of the children that have been established in this universe. First, we're going to talk on, though, the ones that we are probably never going to see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the one that I'd like to see, we're going to start off with first, which is Tess Black. Now, Tess Black is part of a comic two-part series with Spider-Man, which I absolutely love. Now, she is a demigoddess. Basically, Loki had sex and a baby with someone on Earth, and they had a kid. Now, she has, to our knowledge, no idea who her father is, and the reason that we find out how many kids Loki has is because he is drawn into this Spider-Man story because his daughter Tess is possessed by the ancient sorceress of chaos, Morwen, and he has to team up with Spider-Man to save her. Now, one of his other kids, Vali Halfling, which, again, was Loki getting it on with a mortal woman, but this time, instead of the child not knowing who his father was and being on Earth, was brought to Asgard. Now, at one time, he also found himself trapped in hell. Now, I'm not going to get into too much of what happened into that storyline, but Odin did banish him to Midgard. And here's a grand example of Odin being the wonderful father-type figure or grandfather-type figure because he cursed him with eternal adolescence. I'm going to say right off that Odin, you will find, has a continuing theme of being cruel to Loki's babies. So we've touched on two of Loki's children that were by mortal women. Now we're going to get into one that is never, and I mean ever, going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if he is, it is like 0.0001 type probabilities over here. And that is, and I am not pulling your leg here, his name is seriously Son of Satan. Just wow. So let's get into a very quick, how this even happened, what is this, what is going on, what is reality now? Now, we don't know much about him, but during the late 1940s, early 50s, Loki was banished from Olympus by the Olympians to the underworld of Hades by Zeus. Why? We don't know. Loki took the place of Pluto, which is the ruler of the underworld, and we're just assuming here because this hasn't been confirmed, but sometime while he was there, he fathered this thing. And also, also, during this time, he also took the name of Satan, which I guess is how they came up with the name. Not very creative, but really, this is just weird, and we are moving on. Now, we are going to talk about the ones that are actually in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, let's get into the first child of Loki that we see in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is Sleipnir. During the beginning of Thor, where Thor and Loki and the Warriors 3 go to Jotunheim, and then Odin comes to save him, or all of them, we see him on an 8-legged horse. There's only one 8-legged horse, and it's also Odin's horse, which is Loki's son. So we can at least establish that Loki has had sex in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, before we get into any more of Loki's kids, we need to talk about Angrboda, which, again, sorry if I'm butchering the name, but she is a giantess and a witch. Now, here's where it gets kinky. She's a shapeshifter, as is Loki, and she is the mother of the last 3 children that we're going to talk about, all of which we have either seen references to or will be seeing. Now, she has been touted as the mother of monsters because whatever form she and Loki decided to change into and have sex, that's how the baby came out. So, I mean, the fan fiction is writing itself here, folks. Now, the first one, which I honestly hope we see in Ragnarok, this one isn't confirmed unless, you know, you might find spoilers that actually do confirm it, but is the Earth's serpent, Jormungand, and we see him on Loki's outfit in the Avengers, where it's the strap cross piece on his front. There's a snake, and it is believed that that is the Earth's serpent, which allegedly in the comics and also in legend is the one to kill Thor. Now, I really honestly doubt this is going to happen because Thor needs to be in Infinity War, but just throwing that little tidbit out there. Now, apparently, Loki likes him some doggy style because the next one, which we saw in the trailers, is Fenris the wolf, which is a giant wolf. Do I think they're going to actually address this as being Loki's kid? No, and I will get into that towards the end of the video. But even before Thor Ragnarok, where we did see a full-blown Fenris, on his armor, again, on his shoulder pad, was Fenris. So, why would Loki, if they were not his children, carry symbols of the world snake and Fenris? But the last and final one of Loki's kids is, of course, Hela. And again, Odin has the lovely ability to cast out Loki's children because Hela was deemed a danger. So he's like, okay, you're ruler of the dead now, and you can be in hell. And there is a connection between Hell and Niflheim, but I'm not going to get into that in case there are spoilers. Now, another unanswered question is the whole Angrboda, because she is a giant or a frost giant, and Loki Loki in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a rather distaste for giants and frost giants. So, I don't think they will label her a frost giant. At most, they would label her just a giant, or even just a sorceress, or something along those lines, just for continuity's sake. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think in Thor Ragnarok they are going to reveal that Loki got some babies, or are they going to rewrite what's going on like they've been doing with a lot of plots to fit their narrative? I will be seeing Thor Ragnarok. After I do, I will be doing a follow-up video of what we've learned. But as always, this has been Odogoo with team-aonn. Remember to like, subscribe, and enjoy your fandom.